It's 1916 and Europe is a great place to live. The English are coming. Let them come. We are ready for them. Sir, don't interrupt me. So, I hope you manifest this morning as instructed. Have you seen the victory? Did you make a vision board? Sir, I said, don't interrupt me. Who didn't manifest this morning? Flers, a place with cozy buildings, amazing food and tasty wine. Except it's 1916, so it's filled with craters, toxic gas and ravaged soldiers. Germans are pretty good at slaughtering French soldiers, so the French ask Brits for help. Hey Great Britain, I need your help. Nope. But then they changed their mind. The Brits have this guy, only younger. You may know him as a musical sensation, but he is a man of many talents and he had a plan. We need to build a tractor that carries a big gun, has armor and can move across the enemy trenches. Sir, we are the Navy. Exactly, so as I said, this tractor has to be huge, heavy and be able to move across difficult terrain. We do ships? Then build me a ship. Ships don't work on land? Then build me a land ship. So he started a committee called the Landship Committee to oversee the development of what will become the first ever made land ship. However, they forgot one thing, someone has to build it. So after serious thoughts and consideration, they hired a bankrupt agricultural machinery company to do it. During the trials, the project caught the eye of the British War Office, who got more common sense and moved the initiative from the Navy to the Army. Now they ran into a problem. What if the enemy spies figure out that they are trying to build land ships? So they started brainstorming for new names. War machine. How is that even better? A pen. You know, cause when you reverse a pen, looks like... Guys, serious now. How about tanks? Water tanks. I love it. Now they can focus on building a working prototype. Except no, they forgot to change the name of the committee. Are we seriously doing this again? Okay, let's hear some ideas. Water Container Committee. What's the shorthand for that? Heck no. So they named it the Tank Supply Committee. By February 1916, while they didn't waste energy on how to name the thing, they managed to develop a working prototype. Being so good at picking up names, they called it Big Willie, which became Mother and later Mark I. The Germans wanted to give a devastating blow to the French and force them to surrender. So in the same month they attacked Verdun. But the French somehow put up a good fight and it became yet another battle of attrition. The French, however, got tired of attrition, so they went to the Brits. Hey guys, you know you said you'd help us? Now would be a pretty good time to do it. Nope. Okay. The Brits attacked on 1st of July, more than 1 month earlier than they were aiming for, but they smashed the German lines anyways. Except they didn't. Field Marshal Douglas Haig, sir, I'd like to report on the first day of the attack. We've lost 19,000 troops and we have another 38,000 wounded, sir. And we didn't smash the enemy lines. Lovely, send some more. By the end of August, the Brits exchanged 100,000 soldiers in lives or limbs for 8 square kilometers of German-held territory. Field Marshal, sir, I'd like to report. Nope, no need, send some more. And throw some of those tanks in too. He already wanted to include the Mark I tank in the attack from July, but there were just a few of them prepared to be deployed, so by September he was tired of waiting. The decision to use whatever tanks were available contradicted the advice of many of the tank's designers and even Churchill himself. Sir, Mr. Churchill wrote in this memo about the tanks. He says none should be used until all can be used at once. Okay, lovely. Send them in. So they send them in. And on the 15th of September 1916, the tanks were used for the first time in battle. Okay, privates, you are the lucky ones selected to go in this successful mission. Before you go in, I'll have to give you some instructions. You will be grouped in teams of 8. 4 of you will drive the tank, the other 4 will shoot at things. Also keep in mind that it may get a bit hot in there and it's very dark. At least we won't get gassed. Actually it's almost certain we'll have some gas and fumes in there. At least we won't get wounded when we'll get shot at. Actually, yes, definitely not gonna get wounded. And before I forget, here's this bucket. That will be all, boys, for the king and country. For the king and country. Here is what to expect inside the Mark I tank. It's dark and you can barely see anything. The engine is in the same room with the crew, so the noise and vibration makes communication impossible. It also gets very hot after a while, with temperatures reaching up to 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. There is little space available for the crew, especially for gunners and loaders who can barely stand in any possible way. Aiming is impossible while the tank is working because of the vibration. Driving is a heck of a challenge too, especially because there are 4 people that have to coordinate, but they can't hear anything but the engine noise. At any turn, the driver has to stop the tank and put it on neutral. Depending on the direction of turn, one gearman at the back puts it on neutral too, while the other on drive. In this time, the captain holds the brake. The driver then puts the primary box in gear and the active track moves the back around. When finished, the tank has to stop again while the gears are reset. The captain has the worst job out of all the crew members. Besides partaking in driving the tank, he also has to determine the route, watch out for targets, and if the ground is bad or the route uncertain, he will have to step out of the tank. There he would walk in front to test the ground with a stick at the risk of being shot or worse, being run down by his own tank. On top of that, the enemy has plenty of time to react as the moving speed of the Mark I is at almost 6 km or 3.7 miles per hour, and that in good conditions. To make the matters worse, it was known that some ammo could pierce the tank armor, and if that was not the case, the molten lead from the bullets, also known as splash, would slash the exposed skin and damage the eyes. It's a cage from hell. For the bathroom, they'll have to use the bucket and stay with that smell until everything is over, one way or the other. On the 15th of September 1916, only 49 out of 150 tanks were able to be deployed in battle, out of which 15 reached the front line while the rest either didn't start, remained stuck, broke on the road, or were eliminated by enemy fire. However, the sight of almost 10 meters long and 4 meters wide 25-ton beast must have been terrifying as many Germans fled or surrendered. By the end of the war, some improvements were made with the arrival of the model Mark IV, especially for armor and reseating the fuel tank. However, the life of the soldiers inside these metal coffins remained the same. The crews that commanded gave lasting examples of sheer bravery, endurance and determination, and remained in history as the first people to ever use such machineries in battle.